You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
Rob on WCBM.com.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
But the Secure America Act provides $38 billion to ICE, $26 billion to Border Patrol to ensure these critical law enforcement agencies have the necessary resources to do their jobs, protecting our borders and getting criminal aliens out of the country.
Yay!
And starting on day one of my administration, we took the most dangerous, unsafe, violent, and open border people out of this country. We got them out.
Sucks to be you, don't it, Democrats? It's fantastic. Yeah, whenever you go to the convenience store, I always forget the ice. Donald Trump did not forget the ice. No. ICE is well-funded, thank you very much. And there's nothing Democrats can do about it. Oh, yeah, and then on top of that, you've also got a Nazi as a senatorial candidate in the state of Maine. A Nazi is, and by the way, I am absolutely thrilled that Graham Plattner is the candidate for Maine. It is remember when Kamala Harris was named the candidate and Democrats didn't have a choice for either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris? Remember that? You Democrats didn't have a choice in the election in 2024? Yeah, I got on the air the next day and I laughed out loud. I said, this is going to be a cakewalk. We're going to clean her clock. And trust me, if anybody's clock needed to be cleaned, it was hers because, Anyway, and then they got James Tellerico in Texas who's denying everything, denying that he's a vegan, denying that he thinks God is non-binary, denying that he wants children to change their genders. It is remarkable. It is remarkable. By the way, welcome to the show. Please come inside. I was off yesterday. I'm going to be off tomorrow. It's kind of weird. All right, I got a lot of stuff going on. I had to take a day yesterday, and I won't tell you why. It's not a sex change operation, I'll tell you that. And then tomorrow I'm going on a trip with listeners with our anchor station WCBM to Gettysburg, and we're going to go see the battlefields and whatnot, and witness. If you've never been to Gettysburg, it is just a remarkable place. So we're going there tomorrow, and then I'll be back on Friday, and then I'm going to be on all next week and all of that. But anyway, glad to have you here. Thanks for joining me today. We have a jam-packed show. I've been doing show prep to the last minute here. I mean, literally just doing, if you could have seen it before the stream started, just still putting stuff in here. We got hearings for the Southern Poverty Law Center. We got hearings for Act Blue. Act Blue was on Capitol Hill, and Act Blue, of course, is Democrat fundraising organization that is corrupt as the day is long. And the head of the Act Blue is just pleading the fifth on everything when asked about millions and millions of donors from foreign countries toward Democrats. She suddenly decided to no longer have the gift of gab, and so she's pleading the fifth. Just a lot of great stuff happening. The feces is hitting the fan. We wanted this to happen for years. We were asking for what was originally called retribution. Now we're just asking for justice, and it's coming. It's finally coming. It's coming to Tim Roots. And Keith Ellison got a report from the House Judiciary that shows that Keith Ellison and Tim Roots knew about all the fraud from 2019 and covered it up and went after whistleblowers. And let's hope, I'm thinking of the two of them, I'm thinking Orange would kind of tend to wash out Tim Roots because, he's super white. Might look good on Keith Ellison, though. And Ilhan Omar, who cares? Just denaturalize and deport her the hell out of the country. How does that sound? How does that sound? I think it sounds pretty cool. Let's talk about Graham Platter this morning. He was on talking to Mika Brzezinski, and he assured Mika Brzezinski, and this has got to be kind of a little rough interview for her, I would think, considering he had a Nazi tattoo on his chest, and he bragged it about, he called it his little Totenkopf to his ex-girlfriend. Not sure if it was the one that he locked in the closet to calm her down and, all of that, because, he's an abusive, person. I'll just call him a person. And he's, a Nazi, and he likes to pleasure himself in public porta potties. And by the way, he also has an oyster farm. He's only made $5,000 Only $5,000. That's supposedly his living. Actually, you know how he makes his living? $4,800 in disability payments from the VA. That's the guy. Completely broke, borrowed $200,000 from his daddy to buy a house, and sells oysters to his mom, and has only made $5,000 selling oysters. Oh my God, it's so glorious. It is just so gosh darn glorious. It is just like, but here's Mika Brzezinski talking to Graham Plattner because he won last night overwhelmingly, which is fantastic. Fantastic. I'll give you my prediction about what's going to happen in just a second here. But here is Graham Plattner with Mika Brzezinski assuring her there is nothing left.
You say there's nothing out there that could be concerning. And this may seem a little bit rich.
There's nothing out there. I just want to make this clear. There's nothing out there that's actually concerning. People will make everything seem very concerning because that's what people do in politics.
You know what he just did there? He admitted there's more stuff out there. He just admitted that more feces is going to hit the fan. And a lot more things are going to come out because Republicans have been sitting on it. They knew that he was going to become the candidate, which is fantastic because the governor of Maine pulled out of the race and left this fool, right? So they're sitting on this stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming. They put out just enough, and they didn't even put it out. I mean, the New York Times went and found these women. These women came forward and talked about what an abusive a-hole he is and how he knew exactly what the Totenkopf tattoo was about. And I mean, honestly, wow. If that's not enough for you as a Democrat to go, I don't think I want to vote for this guy, then how much did you sell your soul for? Because wow. I told you the death of the Democrat Party in a death spiral to hell. Was I right? Just real quick, anybody want to agree that maybe Graham Plattner, a guy who had a Nazi tattoo, which generally would say, hey, kind of down with the Nazis. And he knew what a Totenkopf was, so down with the SS and the Jews being put into gas chambers and stuff. I'm just saying, just because that's what they did. And he proudly sported the tattoo for 20 years. And then, of course, he likes to pleasure himself in bathrooms. Oh, and he has a kick profile where he put, pictures of himself in a towel to pick up young women. Some of them maybe, who knows, I don't know, but a lot of younger women, like illegal women, 13 to 24 years old, are on the site. Obviously, 13 to 18 would be the illegal. And he says that, there are some text messages out there. We're going to find out that. Maybe that's some of the stuff that the GOP is sitting on. But regardless, that's your candidate. Oh, my God, it's fantastic. Meanwhile, James Tallarico's been very happy in the shadows, covering up his nonsensical rantings as a supposed pastor, saying God is non-binary and there are 6 genders, and being a vegan, and saying that children could change their genders or should change their genders. I mean, he's a bat guano soy boy from hell running in Texas. So you got your 2 candidates there. And I couldn't be happier. There could not be worse candidates for the Democrat Party running for Senate. There could not, and they pale by comparison to Ken Paxton and Susan Collins. They pale by, I should say, Susan Collins and Ken Paxton pale by comparison to Graham Plattner and James Tallarico, because they are bat guano crazy. Last night, Graham Plattner delivered an address in front of a bunch of women who clearly are like the Manson family women. You know, even though this guy is just a creep supreme, for all of the reasons I just told you, these women were intentionally put behind him. And they're like the Manson family followers. And there's Charlie up there, and instead of a swastika carved on his forehead, he has a tattoo on his chest of Totenkopf skull and crossbones representing the SS, who of course killed all the Jews in the death camps. So I think that's a pretty good comparison. So like the Manson family women, the Manson followers. Here is Graham Plattner saying, I don't even know what this is about, talking about grace.
Grace is not inevitable, but here in Maine, sometimes it feels like it is. And that is something I will never take for granted. It is a mighty gift, and one that I am committed to extending outwards.
There is nothing about him that says grace. What about this guy says grace? He said of the guy the Green Beret who was shot up, he says, the mother effer deserved it. Is that graceful? is a kick profile, is that graceful? I mean, he's the opposite of grace. My God in heaven, he's the opposite of grace. Oh, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you. Overwhelm the left with joy, patriotism, and faith. They are so out of their minds. They are willing to vote for these two individuals who are absolutely laughable. As far as Plattner is concerned, if he makes it till November, and I'm not counting on that, he will be summarily crushed by Susan Collins. If he makes it to November, and right now that is a gigantic if on the way. Biggest names in Democrat politics in Congress are not willing to give Graham Plattner their endorsement all of a sudden. Like I said, if he makes it to November, and I'm doubting he will, we've got that. Your phone calls at 800-922-6680. This is The Rob Carson Show.
CBM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to Newsmax.com/listen for details.
They're dumb. They're Democrats. They have the worst policy of anybody. I watched that thug that's up in Maine. He's a thug. And they're trying to make excuses for him. I mean, he's worse than any human being that's ever run for office, probably.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I don't know him. I don't want to say bad, but I just, look, I mean,
wow. Nobody's
ever had a record like that. And you'll have Schumer. He goes crazy over this or that, or Epstein. This guy. Why are they talking about him? He said, well, we don't know, but this guy's got a rap sheet. I've never seen anything like it. He's a thug. I know thugs. I had to deal with thugs.
Yeah.
I built a lot of buildings. I dealt with the toughest people on earth. I dealt with worse than thugs. This guy's a thug. So
yeah, I love it. Graham Plattner, of course, is who Donald Trump is talking about. He won the Maine primary last night, and it's a gift to Republicans. It is a gift from Republicans. Never forget there's not enough money that can be spent to make this man look good and decent. And of course, you combine that with a massive effort to make elections free and fair by our Justice Department and Harmeet Dillon. It's going to be real hard for the Democrat Party to push this jackass over the finish line with James Tallarico. Here is Josh Hawley being asked about Tallarico and Plattner.
Yeah, no, but I tell you what, he's going to fit right in with all the other Senate Democrats. I heard one of them say the other day, Jesse, that if you think biological men shouldn't be playing in women's sports, you favor Jim Crow. So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. This guy is going to be par for the course. And I look at the Plattner campaign. I mean, That has got to be the weirdest campaign I have ever seen in my life. And from what I'm told, it's going to get way weirder.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, you cannot get more of a circus atmosphere than the Democrats have going right now. Trump has totally broke them. This is who they're nominating to these Senate seats, are these kind of candidates. It is wild.
Do you know why they're getting these men? Because real men, fathers, husbands, men with common sense, they want nothing to do with this Democrat Party. Soy boy radical Marxists, little limp-wristed soy boys, they're the ones who are Democrats. That's who they've got. And the only ones they could come up with who would actually run for office is a guy who says he's an oyster farmer who's made $5,000, is on full-time disability. How are you a senator on full-time disability? And he had to ask his daddy for $200,000 to buy a house, and he has a kick profile attracting young girls, and he was abusive to his ex-lovers. My God, there were lovers of this guy. What the hell? I mean, honestly, I look at my Match.com profile. I'm not getting any bites. I'm like, how bad are things out there? My God in heaven. That said, I canceled it. I canceled my Match.com membership. It's like fishing without bait on the hook. I don't even know. Obviously, they're not biting. I'll just tell you that. That said, not that I really care. I don't care right now, to be quite honest. That said, that's your Democrat Party. That's what they got. But here's old Bernie Sanders. I got to tell you, Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer are Jews, and I mean. They would be there. They'd say, officer, they're hiding behind the bookcase. That's Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer. That's it. And Frank, she's right over there. You can hear her breathing. Yeah, she's right. Go. I'm not screwing around. You do not, as a person of Jewish persuasion, support somebody like this unless, you are so drunk, stupid with power or whatever. It is a bloody shame. It is very clear they have no connection to their faith at all or God at all. Here's Bernie Sanders, Hakeem Jeffries, and whatnot defending Plattner.
I don't know what is true or not true. He denies it, but
he had a Totenkopf tattoo, you moron, and he knew it.
Do know is that there are people in the United States Senate right now who are not saints.
Obviously,
No, there aren't. No, but they're about to have one if Graham Plattner wins, and he's not going to.
A lot in that
Let's say, oh my God, she has a fantastic
behavior that's really challenging. It's hard to stomach. If the choice on the ballot is between that and a senator who's voted to take health care away from millions of...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the senator who's voted to take health care... No, she didn't. Susan Collins did not. That's a lie, but you're saying that is worse than a Nazi with a kick profile who's abused women. Okay.
Americans.
Wow.
That's the situation that we have to weigh.
Oh, my God. And you've already weighed in. You will vote for anything if it can win. You will vote for anything. You would vote for the devil himself. I mean it. You would vote for Satan if Satan were running and you thought he could get a seat in the Senate.
Happen to believe all women.
I haven't followed these allegations closely, but what I have said is that violence against women in any way, shape, or form is unacceptable.
So he's trying to straddle it here. And this is going to blow up so deliciously in their faces. So you have no idea how deliciously this is going to blow up in their faces. Here is Chris Coons. No, let's do Mark Warner. Mark Warner over the weekend, he was very distracting, and he's like, I got to focus on my race and, leave it up to the voters of Maine. That's what they say, and we're going to leave it up to the voters of Maine. Instead of saying, I really don't think it's a good idea that we got a Nazi who abuses women and has a kick profile. I don't think it's such a good thing.
Now that voters of Maine have selected Plattner despite those controversies, will you endorse him?
Listen, I've said as this controversy came out that the voters of Maine ought to decide.
Yeah, it's the voters of Maine.
Focused. I'm up for re-election this year myself. I'm focused on my own race. I hope the Democrats take back the Senate, and that path probably goes through Maine. But I'm focused on...
See, he's willing. He's like, okay, it's no big deal. I mean, I'm focused on my race over here. I don't care. It could be Satan. Doesn't matter because I'm working on my race over here.
My own race at this point.
Do you think he'll cost Democrats a chance to retake the Senate? Mm-hmm.
I do wish this, that if Mr. Plattner feels that he could, and I've never met him, if he could disprove some of these accusations, I think that would be important. But I'm not going to go...
But it won't make a difference.
And weigh in on race after race after race. I got to get rehired in Virginia.
Oh, my God. What a weasel. My God, he is a weasel. Weasel supreme. Holy crap. That's spectacular. Here's Adam Gray, Democrat Adam Gray. He's not willing to answer on whether he's going to endorse Plattner.
Do you support Graham Plattner? Do you think he's a good representation of the Democratic Party?
Listen to the distraction. Ready?
Of course they're trying to make that part of the race, right? I mean, they don't want to talk about inflation. They don't want to talk about what this war in Iran has done to fuel prices. They want to stick, well, what about this candidate? What about that? Every day when we tune into your network or any other network, we see panels of folks doing the whataboutism. What about that? What about that?
What about electing a Nazi? You cool with that?
Your party do this, your party do that. What I'm saying is let's actually get focused on making people's lives better, right?
You've offered nothing. You have no platform other than we hate Donald Trump and everything that Donald Trump does is bad no matter how good it is. That's your party. And now you're trying to make it seem like Donald Trump bringing manufacturing back and closing the southern border and, peace in the Middle East and peace treaties around the world and the beautification of Washington, D.C. and Memphis and I don't know, murder rate being the lowest in 126 years. Somehow he's worse than a Nazi with a kick profile who pleasures himself in porta potties. Okay, go with that. Coming up, a special guest. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ghost Bed. I love my Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you're already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's exactly why I switched to Ghost Bed. Ghost Bed keeps you cool all night. No waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. Incredible support. Less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. GhostBed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? GhostBed is offering my audience an extra 10% off. With financing, some GhostBeds come out to around $1 a day. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
Start spreading the news. ICE is coming your way. Tom Homan will be cracking down in New York, New York. Illegals will lose freedom if they stay. There's no way ICE is backing down in New York, New York. Mom Donnie and Kathy Hochul, they do not care that illegals reside most everywhere. The sanctuary city's going away, 'cause ICE is gonna clean it up. I mean New York, New York, like they did in D.C. They will make history just like they'll do in New York, New York.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when pain is a part of your everyday life. Relief Factor was created to help people address inflammation, one of the most common causes of ongoing aches and pains from aging, overexertion, and daily living. It's a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that works through multiple metabolic pathways to support comfort and mobility. No prescription, no masking symptoms, just real relief so you can keep moving forward. I work out every other day, I crush it at the gym, and I ride my bike 100 miles on the weekend. I credit Relief Factor for making all of those activities pain-free. And as America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself a chance to reclaim yours. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah. So you can pursue your happiness being pain-free. Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
Like that. And when you have a party that is promoting everything that this book, the Bible, goes against, at a certain point, people are just like, oh, this is crazy. Multiple genders? What is that? I can't even discipline my children anymore because you want to take my children away from me? What is that? You saying my wife should leave the home and not me? What is that? I can cut my genitals off and I could become a woman? What is that?
You know, a while back I found this wonderful panel that was being hosted by a woman who I'd never met before, Kathy Barnette. She's got a show. I didn't even know it was a weekend show. I knew it was on WPHC in Philadelphia. And I started running these sound clips from her because I thought, dang it. This is what's happening. This is what's happening in the black community. This is why the SCOTUS decision a couple weeks ago eliminating racial gerrymandering districts, which, by the way, are in America's inner cities, which are, there's commonality about all of them: poverty, high crime, terrible schools, dependence, grievance, and generally a Planned Parenthood on a street named after a civil rights leader. All of those things. And Democrats are in charge of it. So I'm like, this is amazing. This woman is amazing. And then I go to the Talkers Convention. The second time I've been to the Talkers Convention. First time, they didn't even know who I was. They were asking me to serve them drinks. They had no idea who I was. Then this time it was not so much. And I see this Kathy Barnette standing over there, and I went, Kathy Barnette. I think it scared the hell out of her, to be quite honest. And then we got to know each other. And that's why she's on the Newsmax hotline right now. And that's why I'm welcoming the great Kathy Barnette. Hello.
Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm glorious. I want to start with, I walked up to you at the Talkers Convention and I saw your name tag and I said, oh my God, I've been sharing your stuff on my show. And you said that your stuff kind of just blew up all of a sudden.
You're the reason why it blew up. And I finally met the man. But yeah, like that was such an exciting interview, and I felt that it was that people would resonate with four black men just walking off the street of Philadelphia and sitting down having a conversation about why they're no longer voting Democrat and why they're so open and receptive to what Donald Trump has to say. I thought that would be interesting. And then the numbers started coming in, and then I met you, and you told me that you debuted it many times. I was like, okay, you're the reason why, so thank you.
I also told you, and listen, there's a reason why particularly black men are leaving the Democrat Party. It's because they have soy boys like James Tallarico and insane Nazis like Graham Plattner, which, by the way, I consider both those candidacies to be a gift from God. They could not have found worse candidates. Do you agree?
I mean, absolutely. However, I've been out there with our voting public, so... yes, they should be a gift that keeps on giving to us, but, we got some issues with the media and the messaging and all of that.
Well, I'm confident. I think it's wonderful. I don't think Plattner's going to last to November, to be quite honest, and by then it'll be too late for somebody stepping in. That said, I don't think that, I think, and I told you this at the Talkers, I said one of the reasons why black guys like Donald Trump is he's dope. And he is. Who would the hell? I mean, you look at any hip-hop video, Donald Trump is a hip-hop video. He's got a gorgeous wife. He's got buildings with his name on it. He's got a private jet. He rides everywhere in a limousine. My God, are you kidding me? And he's masculine.
He is walking, talking testosterone.
Yeah.
He is unapologetic. There is nothing feminine about him. He's decisive. He says what he thinks, and that's very attractive. It's not just my opinion. Like I said, I invited these four black men across generations to come in and to have a conversation like what is so interesting about Donald Trump. And that was one of the many things they said, is that he's a man. He's a man's man. He's unapologetic about being a man. And it is truly a response to the culture that has been trying to feminize men for so many decades, telling men that women are better, women are smarter, women are everything, and yet, that's a lie. And so now we have men who are seeing that. So I think that's very interesting. And what's even more interesting is that it's not that black men are waking up to the narrative that they've been fed for over 70 years. But in order to vote for a Republican, it is very specifically Donald Trump. Donald Trump is interesting to the black community, the Hispanic community, not so much the Republican Party. So I think the Republican Party has opportunities to figure that out and to start modifying.
Well, I mean, listen, does it get more masculine than a dang MMA fight on the White House grounds in a cage? Dear God in heaven, it's friggin' glorious. It's just glorious. But I've noticed over the years, fathers have been marginalized. We're always made fun of in commercials. We don't know how to microwave a hot dog. We look like idiots in sitcoms and all of this. But black men are marginalized. Black men are marginalized. And with that comes a lack of pride, and I'm not talking about the rainbow pride. I'm talking about pride as a man. And a lot of times they are sperm donors. They're sperm donors, and they're marginalized. And I think they're sick and damn tired of it. They're proud, and they're strong, and they want to be fathers, and they want to be husbands, and they want to be godly men. I know this. I had a great barbecue with a whole bunch of brothers over a couple weeks ago, and I just hung out with them. We had cigars, and all of them are Trump voters. All of them are Trump voters.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a thing, and I saw it before it became mainstream and everyone's talking about it. I saw it back in 2022 when I was running my own senatorial campaign against Dr. Oz and many others, and I'm traveling across the state of Pennsylvania, and I would go into predominantly black communities and just start having conversations, and I saw it there, like this awakening, like becoming more skeptical to the narrative. Black people are often told that if you're black, you must vote Democrat. I could see a skepticism towards that narrative. And now over the years, we are where we are, and I'm loving it. I'm so very grateful.
Kathy, I've been talking about this. This has been one of the guiding lights of my career on the radio for, God, it's been 36 frickin' years. 36 years I've been talking about a young generation of black men in America's inner cities and living in absolute hopelessness and squalor and no good schools and violence and all of this. And I have prayed every dang day that they would be delivered from this. And we've seen 2 generations go. And I'm just tired of it. I want to see some light here. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up and we watched Schoolhouse Rock, and we watched Roots, and we watched the Jeffersons, and we watched All in the Family. And we didn't think about it. I had a friend, a friend who was my George Nelson. He's a black guy working with my dad. My dad was a World War II veteran. They come out to the farm in Iowa, and we didn't think about color. But the Democrat Party, particularly under Barack Obama, really worked to divide us. And look what it's gotten. Look what it's gotten to the inner city black community. Look what it's done to the black nuclear family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You look at any measurement that measures anything positive, black men specifically are always at the bottom of that list. How does that happen consistently? I don't care what you're measuring. Go look at any kind of reporting. You see that. And again, it is an awakening. You're absolutely right about Obama. I mean, Vivek and I used to talk about it all the time, is that racism was, to the extent that you can stop out hate, it was essentially a non-issue in this country until Obama came on the scene.
By the way, Barack Obama's whiter than me. I'm not.
Okay, how about that?
I'm not kidding. I grew up in poverty. My father left me when I was 7. I mean, I can go on and on. He grew up in the Punahou school, smoking weed in the Choom Gang in Hawaii. For God's sake, he rides a bike side saddle. Okay, I mean, unbelievable. Listen, Kathy, I want to take a break. I want to talk about the miraculous thing that happened between us at the Talkers Convention, which was unexpected. It was unexpected and glorious. I want to share that on the other side of the break. More with Kathy Barnette. She's marvelous. She's on WPHT. She's got this wonderful book, too. I'll mention this. Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain, Being Black and Conservative in America. More with this on the other side. You don't want to go anywhere. This is The Rob Carson Show.
For more information.
In the 1970s, we voted for the Democratic Party and we saw no change. Okay, you look at North Philadelphia, a great example of it. You had factories over there, there were people that had jobs, and then the jobs left. And then what did the Democrats do? Did they ever bring more jobs? No. The crime went up, people got locked up, and it got worse. We had more of our young men growing up in homes with no fathers and everything else. So people, I think, really got tired of being lied to.
Yeah, 100%. And I told Kathy Barnette, our guest Kathy Barnette from WPHT Radio, also wrote in this book called Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain, Being Black and Conservative America. I told her that the Democrat Party used to promise the black people the sun, the moon, and the stars until Election Day. Then they'd get up after they got to vote and leave some money on the dresser. They're just not leaving money on the dresser anymore. I've been saying that for a couple of years, Kathy.
Yeah, I mean, like, that is so heartbreaking, but it is so true. How else can you describe it?
Yeah, and they cry racism, 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 so you will stop your criticism. That's and finally,
and just operate in your emotion. But again, black people, and when I say black people, I'm primarily talking about black men are waking up to this narrative and beginning to ask questions.
Why not black women? What's up with black women? I mean, what's going on there? Because there is a divide.
It's a hard nut to crack. Like, we're a hard nut to crack, right? And it's going to take some time, right? I mean, like, the government has been telling them since the late 60s that we will be your baby's daddy.
Yes.
Right? Like, you don't need a man. We will pay your rent. We will pay your light bill. We'll give you food. We'll give you a gas card. We'll even give you free internet. We will do everything, right? You are married to us. And so it's really hard to break that link. And then you have feminism, who tells the other half of black women, you go girl, right? Black girl magic. You can do all things. You don't need a man.
Yeah.
And it has just been proven time and time again that it's so detrimental, not just to the black community, but to all communities, right? But there's something really particular about these bad ideas rushing through the black community like a California wildfire. It just destroys everything.
I think this SCOTUS decision was the Berlin Wall for inner city America. That said, I want to talk about what happened this weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for me to talk about. The director of Newsmax audio and podcasting is a wonderful man named Ralph Renzi. I got to know him over the weekend, and he said, Rob, would you mind coming over here real quick? And he's, brought me to you, and he says, Rob, would you share the circumstance? Would you mind sharing the circumstance of your adoption? And I said, well, Kathy, I was given up for adoption because my mother was raped. And you said, go ahead.
Yeah, my mother was also raped. I'm a byproduct of rape. She was 11 years old when I was conceived. I had amazing grandparents who came alongside my mother, and they saw value in my life. And, when I was on the campaign trail and when the question would come up, I never really led with the question because I'm sure you can attest it's a very personal and private journey that we're walking on. But I used to say to people all the time, I saw my grandmother once sign her name with an X. She couldn't even spell out her name, and yet she looked at what was happening, what was growing in my mother's womb, and she saw value in my life.
When we embraced and we wept.
We did. It caught me by surprise.
I didn't expect it. I haven't cried since the weekend I found out, and I went into a spare bedroom with a box of wine, and I drank myself to near death for 72 hours, and that was the last time I've wept about it. But when
and honestly, I think that's what I'm like. My heart connected. I could see the pain, the journey for me, the shame of. I never thought I had shame, right? Because I didn't do anything. I'm a baby. I'm there. I didn't do anything wrong. And yet, when in our culture, when you decide you're going to start speaking about it, I felt the tinge of shame. But nonetheless, the moment you said it to me, and I affirmed it in my own life, I don't know, it was just something within my heart, just to feel like that pain, that empty, that void, that I don't know, and we just really collapsed in each other's arms.
It's one of the top 10 moments of my life. I don't know how to explain it. It was
like, even now I feel emotional about it. It's not, like, we tend to have these conversations as if it's not attached to a human life. And look at you. You're so, when you met me in the hallway, you were like, I'm playing your video, and I just saw life, and I saw joy, and I saw happiness. This is before I knew about your genesis, and it's just, and it connected with me. We had a moment even there before we knew about how we were both conceived. It's just that sense of joy and happiness and gratitude for every breath I get to take. I'm so grateful someone saw value in our lives. You and I, yes, you will live.
You and I are here to spread joy. You and I are here to use. So. We are not just here as entertainers. We are here to witness. We are here to change things. I say spread joy and patriotism and faith, and I know it's serendipitous that I ran into you. I believe it from the bottom of my heart, girl. I know there's a reason why I met you.
I'm so grateful. I mean, and even the testimony that night when I got home, all I could say was, wow.
I know.
Like, all that God had to go through for the two of us to be here, for you to stumble upon my video even before knowing me. I don't take any of these things for granted. I'm so very grateful for you.
Listen, we got to go, but you're going to be a regular guest. Let's just get used to it. You better get used to it. You're going to be a regular guest on this show. But
blessings, my friend.
Oh, I swear to God in heaven. God bless you. Thank you so much for being who you are. Where can people follow you and learn more about you?
Oh, my God, I'm everywhere. Everywhere.
I know you are.
Seen on Odyssey, on Twitter, on YouTube at Kathy Barnette. Find me, like me, subscribe. Let's have a conversation.
All right, God bless you. We'll talk again soon, Kathy. I appreciate you coming on the show today. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Serendipity. Something else, man. And I don't know. I was drawn to her talking on the radio, and I saw all sorts of stuff. I saw all sorts of people. There are all sorts of people I can see who talk on the radio. But this Kathy Barnette, I was like, there's something about Kathy Barnette, and I started running her audio, and then I ran into her at the conference, and then that happened. I mean, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Hugs, Rob. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate that. So much love right there. I know, and we love you too. I love you guys too. All of you guys who watch every single day. I appreciate you. Lady Vu, hello. You drink it. Yo, what up, Pat Carr? How you doing today? Conserve 1974. This is why I love Rob. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you do. I'm just glad you do. I really do. I'm grateful. And that was the thing. When I went to the Talkers Conference 6 years ago, I was still drinking. And nobody noticed me. Nobody gave me the time of day. And I went into that room, and I have had so many people, including the guy who put the damn thing together, say, man, you just spread joy. And it's not easy because I'm still going through a lot of stuff you don't know about. But I'm not going to be anything but joyful when I can, and there will be days I can't be. That's it. There will be days I cannot do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it every day. Got to stay positive, overwhelm the left with joy and faith and patriotism. That's all there is. You got it. Hi, you guys. Hobbalone and Moonlight Ace over on YouTube is Deplorable Dinosaur. Newsmax. Redneck MacGyver says, votes! Yeah, votes. You got it, man. All right, I got to talk. Hi, you guys over on Facebook, too. Thanks for watching today. Here we go. All right. Wow, that was something else. Wasn't that something else? When I went to the Talkers Convention 6 years ago, I was still drinking. And I had... I was wearing these sleeves on my ankles to compress the swelling because I had edema. I had edema. My ankles were huge. Isn't that weird? Isn't that crazy to know that I had pulmonary edema? And I was a shell of who I am. And then I went back and I was just talking to Michael Harrison. He put this thing together, and he's a very nice man. Tim McVeigh, Mike McVeigh. I said Tim McVeigh. Oklahoma City. Mike McVeigh is a guy who's a consultant. I've known him for many years. And Michael said, "Man, you just spread joy." And I'm like, "Well, I'm hearing this from the guy who heads up Talkers Magazine, Michael Harrison, saying that I spread joy." And I'm going to do my best to do that. Rush Limbaugh, when you ask Rush Limbaugh what he was, he would say, "I'm an entertainer." That was number one. He was an entertainer. He became much more. He became obviously much more. I'm an entertainer with an educated opinion, and I've got some pretty good common sense, and I have some pretty good insights, and I've got a lot of life experience. I've been through a mother bleeper of a life. I have been through a lot of stuff, and it has brought me to this moment, and it has brought us to this moment together in Washington, D.C. I'm in Washington, D.C. I moved to Washington, D.C. even up to this last year. I was struggling. I got to put my stuff in my studio in a U-Haul and pull it behind my Bronco. And left all of my belongings behind, essentially. Everything from 30 years of marriage, left it behind, moved to Washington, D.C. because I needed to be here for this moment, and I needed to bring you here. And we are going to change a lot of things. I said when I moved to D.C. I was going to make a noise that no one could ignore. And look what's happened. In 10 months, I'm top 10 political commentary podcast in America, top 42 news, and out of 4.8 million podcasts, I'm number 250. And then things like Kathy Barnette happen, and I realize that I'm on the right path. Thanks for walking with me. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show is next. You do not want to miss a single minute of it.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show. I'm back and better than ever. Yeah. I'm off tomorrow. I know it's weird. It's just weird. Tomorrow I've got a big listener trip to Gettysburg, and we are doing it with WCBM, our anchor station in Balmer. And we sold out one bus in about 4 days, and then we decided to do a second bus. We sold that one out in 2 days. So we're going to Gettysburg. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to be off tomorrow for that. This fall, by the way, we are doing a trip to D.C. I just put a new video up. I'm going to go down this Saturday. I didn't get a chance to go yesterday. I'm going to go down to the reflecting pool on Saturday morning, hopefully, maybe just do a live Instagram broadcast and show you guys how beautiful it is. We're doing a trip to D.C., and we've been talking about it for a while, but we got some seats opened up for this thing with Tours and Travel, and it's going to be October 25th through the 29th, 5 days, 4 nights, Arlington tour, nighttime tour, the monuments, go to the National Mall, all of the beauty. My Union Station, the Columbus statue is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, D.C. is beautiful. It's better than I could have imagined when we initially told you about the trip. Now you got another reason. It is so gosh darn clean and beautiful, and crime is non-existent, and it's friggin' amazing. And if you want to go, if you want to join me, just go to travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net. Do it. You want to hear something funny? Girl that I dated, now is a woman, in 1990. We haven't seen each other since 1990. And she's a very formative, wonderful person named Lynn. She and her husband are coming. She heard about it. She's coming with her husband. Oh, my God. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be cool. Because she was really something else. She taught me a lot. She was a wonderful human being. Anyway, that's going on. Travelwithrob.net. Did you know that it is Pride Month? Did you know? You know how to tell it's Pride Month? You don't. Somebody will tell you. And it could be your media. It could be you. Like, for instance, I was just the other day walking with my kids down the street, and there's a business, and it says, has a pride flag. It says, everyone is welcome here. Like, I guess all the other businesses don't allow gay people or something. Or they're just virtue signaling to make themselves feel superior. Because, honestly, there's very little, by and large, homophobia outwardly in the culture. Yeah, I know it exists. Shut up. I know. I get it. Whatever. Who cares? But honestly, it's getting to be a little embarrassing. And then my kids, they're both pretty liberal, thanks to their mom and the University of Kansas. And so there's this, pride crosswalk. It's all the colors of the rainbow on the crosswalk. And so I said, hey, kids, watch this. And my daughter goes, I know what you're going to do. So I walked off the sidewalk, and I was just walking and just completely straight and And then I backed up, and I went back, and I started walking on the gay sidewalk, and I started sauntering. And I embarrassed the crap out of my kids. They were like, oh, they want to bury their heads in sand. They wanted to walk down the street without me. And then I said, this Pride Month stuff is really stupid. And I think that most gay people who are actually adults don't like to be infantilized by, painting crosswalks gay. I mean, honestly, it's kind of stupid. So Jim Gossett decided to put this together. He just sent this to me this morning. This is our official Pride Month theme song here on the Rob Carson Show. You're a homophobe. No, I'm not. I don't care.
June is busting out all over. It's Pride Month for all the world to see. Our pride is overflowing. With arrogance we're glowing, and the media will cover it for free. Yes! June is busting out all over. It's Pride Month in case you didn't know. You'll hear about it every minute. Prefer not to be in it. Sorry, that's the way it's gonna go. Pride Month's busting out all over. Our tactics, they aren't very nice.
No, not really. No.
Corporations we are shaming. Names will be a naming. Pony up or you will pay the price. Because it's June, June, June. Just because it's June, June, June.
Now, just real quick, I'm not a homophobe. I actually introduced a lesbian couple after they got married, and then they jumped into our friend's swimming pool. They did. They came out in their dresses and they sipped the champagne and they jumped into the swimming pool, and then I jumped into the swimming pool, and then I went to another gay couple's wedding. It was the guys doing a gay wedding in Texas, in Austin of all places. So I don't even care. I don't hate gay people. I have no problem with that. I tell my kids that I don't think your soul has a penis or a vagina. I could be wrong, but whatever. So whatever. If you want to love somebody the rest of your life, so it doesn't matter. It's honestly, if I were of the gay persuasion, I'd be a little embarrassed as an adult, to be quite honest. I mean, you got an ice cream flavor. Oh yeah, it's rainbow ice cream for Pride Month. Oh really? Wow, we really needed that. I mean, honestly, adult gay people really. I mean, can you imagine an adult gay guy, an adult who makes a living, like at a good job, and maybe in the aerospace industry, and he walks into an ice cream joint, and the guy, I don't know, maybe he says something, and he figures out he's gay, and says, "Oh, you want to try the Pride gay ice cream over here?" And the guy's like, "No, actually, I like chocolate chip. I like chocolate chip, or mint chocolate chip." No, but the gay ice cream is right over here. I know I'm gay, but I don't need to eat gay ice cream. I don't need to walk on a gay crosswalk. I don't need to go to a business that says, "We welcome everybody in rainbow colors." I'm just going to go about like my life the way I do every day as a gay guy. So there you go. Zoran Mondami, here's his big thing. Like, a mayor is supposed to do this. Assure that people get their transgender surgery.
As a first step, my administration has made a $15 million investment in gender-affirming care over the next 2 years. And we will continue to use every tool at our disposal to ensure.
I would assume one of those tools is a scalpel.
Ensure that trans and gender non-conforming New Yorkers can live with dignity, safety, and freedom they deserve.
That's another thing. I bet there are a lot of gay people like, we don't want anything to do with children getting their genitalia messed with and the puberty blockers. But they added it to the LGBTQ. But I don't want to be a part of that. I'm just an L and the G over here. I'm just the L and the G. Why do lesbians get their own word, by the way? Why do they be called lesbians? Why aren't there gay guys have their own word? Like, I don't even know. Like, gaysbians or so. I don't even know. Why do they? Anyway, whatever. It's Pride Month, in case you didn't know. We're going to be playing that song a lot. There was some. Oh my God, there were such good hearings this week on Capitol Hill. Oh my God, so spectacular. And of course they had let me see, what are we going to go here? Mondami, Tim McVeigh. I don't want to do that one. Jim Jordan, he had the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the guy on the stand. He's the head of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they paid a bunch of white supremacist groups and the KKK to foment acts of racism and make it seem like racism was really growing. And then, of course, Joe Biden said that racism and white supremacy was the biggest threat to America, which was absolute bullcrap. The only time you ever see white supremacists is on Jerry Springer, but he's dead now. But that was really it. I mean, it's a lunatic fringe. Nobody subscribes to it. There are very few KKK members, but they decided to do this so that the Democrats could call Donald Trump and his followers racist, and the Southern Poverty Law Center could get really rich while creating a narrative that doesn't exist. And it started 12 years ago with Barack Obama. Read my Substack article, 12 Years, a PSYOP. Here is Jim Jordan yesterday talking about the SPLC. Listen to this.
It's always worse than we thought. We now have the superseding indictment from the Justice Department. It wasn't $3 million that they were paying these field sources. It was actually $4 million the Southern Poverty Law Center paid to field sources, and they didn't just pay them to foment the hate they told their donors they were fighting, they actually dated them. That's right, Southern Poverty Law Center employee was in a romantic relationship with field source number 9.
Field source number 9.
Racist National Alliance.
Having a relationship with field source number, did he say field or feel? I think he said fields.
This SPLC employee who was supposed to be dismantling hate groups.
Yeah. Instead was handling the hate group leader.
With the intelligence project was dating the field source that they were paying. And in fact.
What are we doing tonight? Candlelight dinner? No, let's burn a cross together.
They had a joint bank account.
Oh my God. Oh,
guess what the SPLC paid this individual?
What?
$1.2 million. To again create and foment the hate they told their donors they were fighting.
And then this one guy, this poor sap, he was a member of the KKK or some white supremacist organization, and he wanted to walk. He's like, I think I'm done. I'm not down with this anymore. And the SPLC said, no, stay in, we'll pay you.
An individual who led the Nationalist Socialist Party, a faction of the Aryan nations, reached out to SPLC. He wanted out.
Yeah.
He wanted help in leaving this racist group. What'd the SPLC do? They said, no. Stay in the group. We'll pay you a monthly salary. We'll reimburse you for hosting rallies, purchasing racist material. Of course, that was field source number 30.
That was field source number 30. So you got one of the SPLC members is having sex with one of the white supremacist groups. And they had a joint bank account. And then the other one was paying this other guy to stay in the hate group, in the Aryan Nation group. Oh, my God, it's so good. And it gets better. Oh, it gets better. And I'm going to have that on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey, guys, it's
joint.
Yeah.
We have to beat them electorally, and then we have to break their spirit. And then we're going to crush their soul.
Oh, really? You and what army?
Yeah, people without souls can't crush people with souls. I should know that there. Hakeem Jeffries. So the Southern Poverty Law Center is such a joke. They were targeting conservatives and they were calling them Nazis and everything, and ultimately precipitated the death of Charlie Kirk, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They put him on a target list. And, of course, they did the stochastic terror to whip people into a frenzy and make them believe a narrative that wasn't true, so that by killing someone, it's righteous. They did the same thing with Donald Trump. 4 times attempted that, but it didn't work out. So that's what that's all about, in case you wanted to know. Southern Poverty Law Center also paid racists. They were literally in bed. One of the Southern Poverty Law Center hires up were in bed with one of the people they were paying, white supremacists. They had a joint bank account. Oh, my God, it's fantastic. That is fantastic. I want to see their check ledger. I've got this rocket finance thing, and it asks for categories. I mean, like, what was it, honey? What was this $250 expense for? Cross-burning supplies. Okay, all right, thank you. There you go. Here's Jim Jordan with a list of the people that the Southern Poverty Law Center paid.
How about F-37, Field Source 37? This person's the one who coordinated transportation and attended the 2017 rally in Charlottesville.
Yeah, they created the rally in Charlottesville. And you know why I know that? Because there wasn't another one after it. Yeah, it was just that one that they could use to call Donald Trump and his voters racist.
Southern Poverty Law Center paid him $300,000 to the guy who helped put together the event where a young lady was killed. F-27, he was paid $350,000. What'd he do? He ran the Aryan Nations Motorcycle Club. F-43, president of some crazy group, was previously convicted of cross-burning, but the SPLC thought he was worth $19,000 of their donors' money.
Guy knows how to burn a good cross.
Again, all told, $4 million to manufacture hate.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? You know what else? That Charlottesville rally that Joe Biden said was the reason why he decided to run for president, Yeah, well, this is why.
And the Biden Justice Department helped make them the standard.
Yeah.
This is probably the part that bothers me, I think bothers most people the most.
Yeah.
They helped make the Southern Poverty the standard in
Remember when Joe Biden said that white supremacy is the biggest threat in America? It was because these guys.
Evaluating who's a hate group, who isn't. Because they consulted with them.
Yeah.
They had quarterly meetings.
Yeah.
The Deputy Attorney General, Lisa Monaco, quarterly met with SPLC.
Yeah.
They would give SPLC any information they had, the Justice Department, the FBI had, they give it to them first.
This is why Moms for Liberty, this is why TPUSA were called white supremacist group based on nothing but Joe Biden and the Biden administration saying, put them on your list.
They even used them to train prosecutors. And of course, we know what it resulted in.
Wow.
The now famous memorandum from the FBI field office in Richmond, Virginia, where the FBI said, if you're a pro-life Catholic, you're an extremist.
Yeah.
And of course, who did they cite for that?
Southern
you guessed
Poverty
it.
Law Center, yeah.
Southern Poverty Law Center.
I know.
Southern Poverty Law Center became part of the weaponized Garland-Biden Justice Department.
It's evil. That is just evil. And by the way, the Charlotte was not only good for, calling Republicans racist and Trump supporters racist. Didn't really catch on very well. But also made the Southern Poverty Law Center a buttload of money.
Now, here's what's interesting. The Biden DOJ knew all about this scam that they were running. They knew the SPLC was doing this. But they didn't pursue the case. They dropped the case.
Yeah.
Because when you meet with them, when you consult with them, when you have them train your prosecutors, you're not going to prosecute them. And here's the scary part.
What?
It all worked. Field Source 37, the guy at the Charlottesville rally, helped plan that rally, coordinate transportation there, was paid to attend. Again, after the event where a lady was killed, Southern Poverty Law Center almost tripled their income. $51 million to $133 million after they were coordinating the hate that took place. That crazy rally.
That is just amazing. That is about as evil as it gets. Here's Jim Jordan talking to the head of the Southern Poverty Law Center. The guy's name is Brian Fair, and I'm hoping he's going to go to jail.
Mr. Fair, did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor money to have field sources attend extremist rallies across the country?
Mr. Chairman.
It's a simple question. Did you use your donor money for that purpose?
We used donor money.
So yes or no?
Paid confidential informants to infiltrate extremist organizations.
Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources host extremist rallies throughout the country?
They
Not
did,
to my
according
knowledge.
to the indictment, yeah.
That's not what the indictment says. Did the Southern Poverty Law Center use donor dollars to have field sources grow existing chapters of extremist groups?
Mr. Chairman, as I
It's
said
a simple
earlier,
question, Mr. Fair. Did you use donor money for the purpose I just read? I'm reading straight from the superseding indictment.
and Mr. Chairman, the indictment will be managed and responded to by.
You're in a whole lot of trouble. This is Brandon Gill talking to this Jack Weed about how they targeted pro-lifers as racists.
Shifting gears a little bit, your organization said that restricting and banning abortion is a tool of the far right uses to maintain white supremacy.
Listen to this.
Do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I believe that reproductive liberty is.
No, do you believe that pro-lifers are white supremacists?
I will tell you what I believe if you're
It's just
asking.
yes or no?
I can't answer that question, yes or
I
no.
don't.
What is reproductive liberties? Like having sex in the kitchen? We're going to do it in the kitchen tonight. Liberate!
Think that pro-life
No, it's about killing babies.
are white supremacists. Do you?
What I think is that reproductive liberty is a right that every woman should enjoy.
How many babies in the United States that are aborted are black? About 40% of abortions nationwide are of black babies. Blacks represent about 13% of the population. Does that sound like something a white supremacist would oppose?
What I would say again is that SPLC supports reproductive liberty.
Calling somebody a white supremacist is a pretty serious charge, isn't it?
The woman who founded Planned Parenthood was an avowed racist. Here is Brandon Gill continuing his conversation. Then Alveda King jumps in when Jamie Raskin decides to bloviate.
Mr. Gill, I'm not sure why you would think I'm able to do anything.
Because you're the president of the SPLC, which labels pro-lifers as racists.
Yeah. Well,
does your organization just hurl around epithets like that without any justification?
Mr. Gill, what we do is
I'm giving you the opportunity to.
We're not giving you the
Mr. Chairman, what's he referring to? And can you let the witness answer the question? This is outrageous.
No, it's not. The time
Allow him to
belongs-
speak.
I know you don't like
What are you referring to?
Time
I know you
belongs-
don't like my question.
What are you referring to?
Time belongs-
here.
All right, I'll give my last question to Dr. King. Dr. King, are pro-lifers white supremacists?
Pro-lifers cannot be white supremacists. Pro-lifers believe in life from the womb to the tomb and beyond. Pro-lifers fight for every baby in the womb, regardless of skin color. We have been aborted as blacks in America disproportionately. And so the white supremacists are Planned Parenthood, who admitted that they do have racist underpinning with an agenda to reduce the black population by abortion.
Yeah, the only people who are aborted more than black babies are kids with Down syndrome. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Except for they do a test for Down syndrome, and they just do the test not to prepare you to raise a baby with Down syndrome, because otherwise they'd refer to you to a specialist. They just say it because they want to know if you want to kill the baby or not. That's it. That's why they give you that test. That's why they don't refer you to someone to raise a kid with Down syndrome. Thought you should know. I know it's kind of ridiculous. The one and only Blaine Holt joins us next to talk about Iran. What's next? Don't go anywhere.
He is a real.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when pain is a part of your everyday life. Relief Factor was created to help people address inflammation, one of the most common causes of ongoing aches and pains from aging, overexertion, and daily living. It's a 100% drug-free, research-based formula that works through multiple metabolic pathways to support comfort and mobility. No prescription, no masking symptoms, just real relief so you can keep moving forward. I work out every other day, I crush it at the gym, and I ride my bike 100 miles on the weekend. I credit Relief Factor for making all of those activities pain-free. And as America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself a chance to reclaim yours. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah. so you can pursue your happiness being pain-free? Your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's relieffactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
Deported. 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 Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. 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 Get them out. Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get the hell out of here.
We have,
He's ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go with the second. The hardliners don't want a deal. They want to go out in a blaze of glory, or they think they can wait the president out. You know, and President Trump has got about everything he can in play to squeeze them to the last drop. You know, their regime can't hold on much longer as a functional entity. So either they make a deal now, or I think it may be time for him to say, we've had enough. These guys are not dealing in good faith. Maybe it's time that the Iranian people got to choose their own government. Maybe they deserve a national referendum. You know, and that doesn't mean we invade and install somebody. It means he calls for it and makes that the new marker and lets them know that we're not going to tolerate them simply stringing this along.
Yeah, Donald Trump put on Truth Social, Iran's military is a complete and total mess. Much of it, like their Navy and Air Force, doesn't even exist anymore. They've been perfectly defeated. Iran is all talk, no action. The bully of the Middle East is dead. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them. Now they will have to pay the price. Signed, the president. Joining us to discuss this is Brigadier General Blaine Holt, also the host of the Dangerous Intellectuals podcast and awesome puppy daddy. I'll just throw it out at the end there. He's on the Newsmax hotline. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. Big news week. Wow, a lot going on.
Brother, I want you not only about military stuff. I want your thoughts on Graham Plattner, although he's a veteran, whatever, disgraceful human being. We'll get to that. But I just think Trump's done, and I've been waiting for this forever, brother. And I said this was going to happen because they weren't going to be able to bring him to the table. There's no negotiating with these sons of bees. You got to blow the snot out of them. What do you think?
No, I think you're exactly right. They're the ones who opened this up with the downing of the helicopter, and they're the only thing really standing in the way of getting the negotiated deal done and putting things to where they need to go. More and more, they're broke and isolated. I think President Trump had hoped that they would just turn on themselves and fall under their own weight, but they still have weapons, and those weapons are being aimed at Israel.
Yep.
And so the time is now to take that opening and now finish them off.
They used the ceasefire to not consider peace, but to take what they had, build on it, and then launch it. I mean, it's the dumbest thing they could have done. I'm grateful that they have so much arrogance and so much hubris that they would do this. And it's time to put them out of our misery, Blaine.
Well, I think it's an extinction event for them, and here's my concern. This is all going to go well. Nobody should fret about the United States military's capabilities. What we did see on Iranian television last night was propaganda. They normally put that out to show strength to their own people. But they were showing propaganda of Western cities with nuclear weapons blowing up inside of them. Mm-hmm. And I can't help but wonder about the 4 years of open borders here and terror cells that might, as a last gasp, meaning we're all going to be martyred anyway, so let's activate some plans. In other words, domestic security now needs to be taken extremely seriously, local, state, and federal levels. Because we are going to finish this deal. One of the worst organizations, psychopaths, are coming off the table, but they might come off the table with a bang, and we want to prevent any danger to Americans here at home.
It was the first time that I had flown this weekend to the Talkers Convention since the TSA problem, and I told the TSA agents, the response I got was tremendous. I said, I am sorry for the BS you had to go through. And I got, sir, thank you for your support. And I wanted to mention that just because the Democrat Party and their awfulness put us at risk and hurt a lot of people financially in the process.
No, they absolutely did. And what we have to do is we have to get stuff straightened out here at home and start taking our security seriously to the point where we're not going to be yielding on politicization of security forces, whether it's ICE, TSA, DHS. That can't be.
No.
We can always hold our government agencies accountable if there's malfeasance. But what we don't do is we don't just bind up an entire organization that's supposed to look after America and castigate them and rob them of their paychecks. That's wrong. And people in Congress, quite honestly, from my standpoint, should be held to account for that. I think there should be sanctions on that. I think there should be a penalty for them in their gross negligence in how they've handled the affairs of this nation.
I think they ought to stop paying the Congress for for a while, make it a voluntary position for a while. Anyway, the interesting thing about this, was it an Apache? It was an Apache helicopter. And I had just heard that this drone became lodged essentially between the two pilots, and they had to put the thing down to avoid blowing up in midair. That's what I had heard. Now, if I'm not mistaken, is this the second aircraft that we've lost while taking down supposedly one of the most powerful militaries in the entire world with very few casualties, very little equipment damaged? That's pretty remarkable.
It is. I've never had a respect for the Iranian military or their abilities at all.
Yeah.
I think what I've seen is just more politicization, the military-industrial complex wanting to sell us another Zeus fastener, another gonculator, because this has been so politicized and so marketized to justify budget line items. And listen, we're going to make this scourge go away, but what we've got to do is start looking into how does this country decide to go to war? How does this country decide what's a threat, what's not a threat? And if we need to go nullify something like Iran, well, then we do it. But I'm not quite sure our road to war is a wholesome one. And I think President Trump agrees, and he's trying to clean up a lot of that with our footprint around the world. If you have troops overseas, you have a higher likelihood of having them engaged in combat. By the way, it's just a math problem.
Now, one thing I thought was remarkable that is that these two pilots on this chopper were rescued by an unmanned vehicle. Dude, that is crazy. All I could think of was the Huey pilots in Vietnam, going in, against enemy fire to rescue people, and now we're sending unmanned vehicles. Dude, this is gigantic.
It's gigantic. The lower risk to our forces, the better. And I know of technology companies right now that are working on the aerial part of that.
Yes.
Which is stealthy little bird comes in, you climb yourself up into the stealthy little bird, and it gets you out of there. And, so we're going to see new things on the battlefield that actually save lives, no question about that. But, there's no stopping on learning how to kill each other, that's for sure.
Yeah. Uber rescue. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, but think about
Uber
that.
rescue.
You think about this. I mean, we've just had in the last couple of years, we've had extractions of. It happened about a year ago. There was one of our soldiers. Remember the pilot that was shot down in Iran? And this was like months ago. And they sent in some of our forces to pick that guy up. And now there's going to be the opportunity. We just send in an unmanned vehicle. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Wow. We will get there from the air. It's going to be a little more tricky, but I know. One company I know in particular, I love them, and I think that they're going to get there. But, man, they've got a design that would just blow your face off. It's so cool.
Really, really. Did you know that SpaceX is going public on Friday? I'm trying to find somebody. Why?
Well, I'm worried about a company that's going to be pursuing a valuation of $1.7 trillion when it's got $200 billion in contracts and $5 billion operating losses every year, and then it's gotten a 5-day waiver from the SEC to be immediately listed on the indexes. Normally that time frame is a year to stabilize. With 5 days and it goes into the indexes, that means your ETFs must buy those shares. So they're going to have to turn that ROI rather quickly, or we could be a problem in the indices.
Now
that's a lot of nerds.
This is
curious. We're going a little fast here.
This is very curious because I don't know anything about the stock market. I heard the IPO is about $135. I want it, and I'll tell you why, Blaine. Not only SpaceX is going to be sending 1,000 rockets a year into the space, but also when you and I get old and need somebody to help us in the bathroom, it's going to be an Elon Musk robot, brother. I mean, the robotics thing is going to be. I have a gut feeling he's changing the world. I know. I understand what you're saying, but. I'm going to.
I'm not. Look, I think Tesla's great. I think SpaceX is great. I think it's got all a bright future. I am merely nerding out with you on the mechanics of the listing. That's all.
All right, brother. I love it. We got much more I want to talk to you about. Blaine Holt, DangerousIntellectuals.com, DangerousIntellectuals.com. Terrific podcast. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. More with Brigadier General Blaine Holt in just one moment. Dangerous Intellectuals Podcast, dangerousintellectuals.com. Buy some gold, put some silver in your pocket. I know you're thinking everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? Well, you might want to pull your head out of the sand. One thing you can control that doesn't cost you anything out of pocket is diversifying your retirement savings. You can convert an old 401k from a previous employer. I did that with the 401k I got from selling cars. Yeah, because it was just lying there like Joe Biden on a lawn chair on the beach. Or an IRA, by the way, converted into physical gold. If you're going to sit on it a while like me, I'm not going to be retiring anytime soon. Sorry, competition. Like they're shuddering. Birch Gold is giving you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 10th. I have my other silver round from Birch Gold. This is a collector's item. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, think about this. 10 years ago, an ounce of gold was $1,200. Today, it's $4,500. What will it be 10 years from now? Who the heck knows, right? Text Rob to 989898 to take advantage of free silver. 250 silver with a qualifying purchase before July 10th. Again, text Rob to the number 989898. Rob Finnerty from Newsmax. I want to play this real quick before we go back to Blaine Holt.
Meaning, after calling Donald Trump Hitler, a fascist, a Nazi, for the last decade, they're about to nominate a guy, Democrats, with a Nazi tattoo for the Senate in Maine. A guy who, according to his ex-girlfriend, this was in the New York Times, knew that the tattoo was a Nazi tattoo. He even referred to it as his little Totenkopf.
Yeah, that's the candidate for Maine. I know, I love it. I'm actually thrilled about it. Blaine Holt, what do you think about this guy? He's a veteran. Hell, did you even hear? I think was it Hakeem Jeffries last week who said that blamed his Totenkopf tattoo on the Iraq War? Did you hear that?
Yeah. What is the only way? What's the only way you could get Susan Collins reelected? What's the only possibility? Is to go ahead and put up an avowed Nazi who has bragged about what he would do to women in a very untoward way. This guy's nasty.
Yeah, he said he'd rape. He said he would rape women. He said he would rape.
That's right.
Women.
That's
My
right.
God. Yeah.
And he's nasty. And yet, even Bernie Sanders, the Lord of Marxism himself, came out and said, "I would vote for him." And they all prostituted themselves to vote for them, which tells you one thing: they absolutely have no morals, no ideals, no ideology. No. There's none of that to do. It's simply about power. It's nothing more than that. It's just about power. We just need the seat. Could care less about this guy or who he is. Just happens to be running at the top of a poll, and so we want him. And I think it's disgusting, but it's emblematic of American politics.
No, it's emblematic of the Democrat Party. It's emblematic of the Democrat Party, of this Democrat Party that, and by the way, we all know what happens when a party leans left, socialist, and anti-Semitic, and they're calling it anti-Zionist. It's the same damn thing. And by the way, Bernie Sanders would say, "Oh, Anne Frank, she's behind the bookcase." I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's dude.
It's awful. It's awful. Disgusting.
And then you got Soy Boy in Texas. Yeah. And this weekend he's denying everything. He's denying everything. He's in the shadows of Graham Plattner. He's over here going, "No, I don't want children to have their genders changed. No, I actually eat meat." I mean, unbelievable. And you know why this is, Blaine? Because the Democrat Party can't get masculine, good and decent fathers and husbands to run for office. They have a bunch of soy boys, a bunch of radical Marxists, a bunch of leftist lunatics. That is your Democrat Party, and this is the best they have to offer to run for office.
That's exactly correct. And then, well, hold on. I've got enough venom for both sides of the aisle.
Okay, good. Well, good. Bring it.
Let's go right to John Thune. When the heck are we going to go ahead and codify some executive orders? When are we going to get all the judicial nominees taken care of? When are we going to start acknowledging that climate change is a bunch of BS and we're going to start getting rid of the laws that protect that nonsense? I'm waiting.
Thune is done.
When you are in power, will you govern? That's what we want.
Thank you. And Thune is done. He's after this term. He will be done. He's done, dude. Okay.
He better be.
Yeah, he's the new Nikki Haley. He's the new Mike Pence.
Nikki Haley, that's great.
Could you believe that Mike Pence book tour nonsense? Who the hell wants to read his book?
Oh my gosh.
Dear God in heaven.
Who
the hell wants to read that book?
Fish wrap. Oh, gosh.
I wouldn't wrap a fish with that piece of crap. And with Jill Biden's book. And by the way, she's not selling any copies either.
I know, the great educator. It's so amazing that it's so unfortunate.
Now, one more thing before we go, Blaine. I don't think Plattner's going to make it to November. If he does, he's going to get destroyed. I don't think he's going to make it, bro. I think they've screwed the. I think they've screwed the pooch. I think they're going to pull him like they did with Biden. They're going to put somebody in there who can't win, and it's going to be just like what happened in 2024, except for a Senate version. What do you think?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a possibility. I think that's exactly right. And this guy is never more than about 2-3 weeks away from his next big scandal. So,
they've been dude. You know that if I was able to say, "Oh God, please hang on to the good stuff," because he's going to be the nominee, and then unleash it, that's what they did.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you do. No question.
All right, let's promote your podcast. Tell everybody about it. What's up?
Okay, dangerousintellectuals.com. If you go to Monday's release, you're going to hear from Casey Fleming, who wrote Red Tsunami, and nobody gets the granularity of the threat to this country from China like this guy does.
Sweet.
Wait a minute. Come visit us on this coming Monday. We've got Mike Arnold, who's going to tell you all about the slaughter of Christians in Nigeria.
Whoa.
And he is raising the alarms that it doesn't just stop there.
I love it, brother. Your podcast has got to be growing by leaps and bounds. It's a great listen, and I appreciate you being on the show. As always, have a glorious rest of your week, and we'll talk again soon, okay, bro?
You too, my friend. Always at your service.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Isn't he just good? Isn't he just good? I am so glad I know Blaine Holt. Man, oh man, oh man. Moonlight Ace. Hello, Moonlight Ace. Pence is dirty. Pence is a piece of crap. Pence is Mitt Romney. Pence is Mitt Romney. That's all. Pence is Mitt Romney, and he is done. Nobody bought his book. Nobody bought his book. Now, I was Googling this weekend, Jill Biden book sales. It will not show up. You cannot get her book sales. I guess maybe I could look up the New York Times bestseller. Did you know Gavin Newsom's book, 70% of the book sales were to his organization? Did you know that? So New York Times bestseller list. Let's see here. New York Times bestsellers right now. Let's see what we got here. Nora, Sarah, Caroline. Oh, well, Jill Biden is not there. Chris Murphy is number 4. Can you believe that piece of crap? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Peter Schweizer's number 7. Yeah, Jill Biden, the first ditz of America, not in the top 10. Isn't that amazing? Because nobody gives a crap about her or her awful, awful, awful corrupt husband. Because he was a terrible, terrible, terrible president. Everybody knows it. There you go. Hi. Who's over here on the Rumbly-Roo? Dookie Bear, Mick Redchester. Yeah, Pence is a robot. He's a piece of crap. Rob Lance, some great people. Thank you very much. Yeah, Blaine was on a roll today, Grandma times 59. Hello, S. Leclerc. That's why we vote. Hello, good to see you over there on the Twitter, on the X as it were. The only ex I really love. No, I'm just kidding. I love my ex. I'm glad for her. I'm really actually glad we got a divorce. I mean, you have no idea. I'm really glad. All right, here we go. This is Democrat Adam Gray on, actually I already played that. No, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do Mark Warner, Chris Coons. Chris Coons on Graham Plattner. All these Democrats now suddenly are not willing to say they really believe in Graham Plattner. This is why I'm saying I don't think he's going to make it to November.
He said there's nothing out there that's actually concerning. My question to you is his definition of concerning the same as yours? He had a tattoo, which, is a Nazi tattoo. A Totenkopf there has definite Nazi symbolism.
John Berman admitting it's a Nazi tattoo.
The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal reported there was physically violent toward an ex-girlfriend. There were all the posts he made.
Woo.
He says that's not concerning. Is that the same view of concerning that you have?
Listen.
Well, John, that's a judgment the voters of Maine will ultimately make.
That's up to the voters. I have nothing to say about that. Wow.
But of course, I have concerns about his tattoo and the story about...
I wouldn't vote for a Nazi woman abuser, but the people of Maine... Hey, you know what he's doing? He's whizzing on the people of Maine.
Whether he knew what it meant or not and when, and concerns about the allegations. Democrats have held our candidates and our colleagues to high standards.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
Particularly when it comes to any allegations of sexual assault. But I also respect the fact that the voters of Maine,
Bill Clinton, anybody?
Like most states, did not like national party leaders coming in and anointing one candidate over another.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's so fantastic. There are these two people who discovered Graham Plattner. I want you to hear these two people. They are demonic. Listen to the guy. These two people, these two Democrats, discovered Graham Plattner.
At this point, you hadn't vetted Graham Plattner. You hadn't done a full scrub of who he is. How did you go about vetting him? And why did you?
We paid a nice firm a whole chunk of money and got some stuff back. Some of what you've seen on the news we got back. Other stuff we didn't.
Did the vetting process turn up the tattoo that became so controversial?
No.
The Reddit posts, did that turn up in the vetting process?
The firm sent us a thing, and it had some of the posts, but it didn't have all of them.
And what did you think
Listen
about
to this guy.
that? How did you?
He sounds
how did
demonic.
You think your way through
Listen to him.
The fact that he had posted these things on social media.
I said none of this will or should stop him from becoming a U.S. Senator.
And what was your
Clearly the
thinking
voters
there?
agree. I think if what the voters wanted were people who were grown in vats and had never done or said anything that they might regret their entire lives, we'd have a very different country. Part of
What the hell? I mean, what is that? People don't talk that way. That's like if you gave a demon a voice for a day and it was getting comfortable with the voice, and that's what it sounded like. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's even better than I thought on the air. I'll share a little bit more coming up. Third hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Yeah, these are the guys who did the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial, between that and the Washington Monument. They were in the White House yesterday, and the president gave them all signed hats and presidential challenge coins, because you know what? They did a kick-ass job. It is absolutely stunning. I was going to go down yesterday, and what I'm going to do is Saturday morning, I'm going to go down early. I'm going to go live on my social media, probably on my Instagram, Rob Carson Show, and show you it personally. How's that sound? You want to make an appointment with me Saturday morning? I'm going to try to be down there by 8 o'clock. How's that sound? How's that sound? But I want you to see it. I want you to see it from my perspective. I want you to see it because it's stunning. It's stunning, and it is a metaphor for the Democrat Party versus Donald Trump. All of the fountains are going. Some of the fountains have been not working for 20 years. They were used as urinals, as latrines by the homeless. Washington, D.C. was a massive Charlie Foxtrot. We'll just put it that way. And Donald Trump has come in and made it beautiful. And this is part of the beating the left into the pits of hell and driving them to hell, because they're still caterwauling. They're still hating that Donald Trump is doing this. But the beauty is starting to creep in, and people are going, oh, my God. And maybe this is the beginning of a relent. Maybe this is the beginning of a, my God, Democrat Party just drop off the face of the earth. Just drop off the face of the earth. This, meanwhile, is what Barack Obama, an academic with no life experience at all, a Manchurian candidate who never did anything in his life, never had a job, a pure academic, a creation of the radical left, Barack Obama. Here's what he did to the reflecting pool.
There's plenty to take pictures of in downtown Washington, D.C. The Lincoln Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and then there's this. Folks snapping photos of the reflecting pool.
It's really sludgy up this end.
And what's in it?
It's disgusting. It's not right.
Algae.
It smells like wet dog down here, you know. When my dog came home from the stream, he always smelled like this, so it's gross.
The Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool reopened at the end of August to great fanfare after a $34 million renovation that lasted nearly 2 years.
More than twice as much as Donald Trump paid for it.
But less than a month later, the famous pool of water is full of algae. Algae are simple organisms that thrive in areas where there is heat and sunlight.
Yeah, and it was full of goose crap and garbage. They took out dump truck loads of sewage. That was your reflecting pool. Thank you, Joe Biden. And now it's stunning. They painted the bottom blue. The left made fun of it. They made fun of it. The Democrat Party, Republican Party, Jackie O wanted a ballroom. Donald Trump got private funding for a ballroom. He's building a magnificent ballroom. He's the first builder in the White House since Thomas Jefferson. The first one. And all the left can do is caterwaul and be worried about it. All they can do is do that. Meanwhile, Barack Obama had almost $400 million of work done on the grounds of the White House. Nobody said a damned thing about it. So I have no time for any of this from the left. I'm done. I'm done with their negativity. I am going to, and I hope you will too, overwhelm them with joy and patriotism and faith, because they are on the ropes. They are on the ropes. And if you don't believe me, they just nominated a guy who had a Nazi tattoo, the worst Nazi tattoo you can imagine, the Totenkopf symbol on his chest for 20 years. He bragged to his girlfriend, that's my little Totenkopf. That's your Democrat Party. Oh, I told you. What did I tell you? They die like movie vampires, and they are. Woo! Man, oh man, oh man. And like everything, the Democrats have this miraculous thing. It's called the crap touch. Yeah. Crap touch. Crap touch. Yeah. Everything the Democrats touch turns to crap. And Donald Trump has come in, and despite all of the howling like banshees from hell about the improvements that he's making, the obvious goodness of all of it. They're trying to convince you that it's bad. Oh, it's just so delicious. It's delicious. Oh, my God, it's delicious. Spectacular. By the way, Graham Plattner, he's not an oyster farmer. They made that up after he was discovered, and they made him the candidate. His disclosure form shows he earned $4,800. No, he earned $5,000 from oyster farming. And the only reason he did that is because he raised a few oysters for his mom's restaurant. And then he got a $200,000 loan from his daddy to get a house because he probably has no credit rating because the only job he has is $4,800 a month in disability. That sounds like a great senator, don't it? A Nazi with a kick profile who likes to pleasure himself in porta potties and has abusive relationships with women. That's what you got. Wow. And then you got a soy boy who believes there are 6 genders and that God is non-binary and he's a vegan in Texas. That's what you got. Wow. Good luck, man. I mean, honestly, good luck with that. That's quite a choice you got there, kids. Wee-wee. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Spectacular. Tim Votes. Tim Votes is in a lot of trouble. I got to play my little montage in honor of Tim Roots.
Timmy! Ooh, Timmy.
That's all the Timmys from South Park right there. Oh my God, it's spectacular. So Timmy, the House Judiciary, they got 200 pages showing that Tim Roots and Keith Ellison allegedly knew about all the fraud in Minnesota, and instead of doing something about it, they went after the whistleblowers and destroyed their lives. Here is J.D. Vance.
But here's what's particularly troubling about this to me is Jesse, you had people within Governor Walz's office who were saying, you know what, this looks like fraud. It looks like these Somalian illegal immigrants are doing something that's very shady.
He knew about it.
And then you had people who shut them down, who shut these whistleblowers down and said, you know, you're a racist or you're a xenophobe for asking questions about where taxpayer money is going.
Yeah.
What that means to me, Jesse, is that clearly people weren't taking fraud seriously. Whether it rises to the level of a criminal violation, we're going to investigate it. And of course, if it does rise to that level, we're going to prosecute it.
Oh, I hope so. I want to see Timmy go to jail with Keith Ellison. Let's take a break. Oh, no, we don't. Let's play Jim Gossett. Let's do that.
With the actions he's taken, Jacob Fry is making Minneapolis a
clown town.
Ice fries a bows, and while Tim Walz is dozing, city has become
a clown town.
Ilhan Omar's hiding fraud, Keith Ellison's obstructing a war on law enforcement. Jacob Fry's conducting Tampon Tim.
Tampon
is so incompetent.
No.
Most Minnesotans want no more of him. It's a
clown town.
Minneapolis, clown town. It's far from fabulous. Clown town. Once great cities become
clown town. Clown town. And you know why Minneapolis is such a suckhole now? I lived there in the back in the 90s. I posted a picture on my social media of me on a billboard for KS95, KS95, Mark, Kim, and Rob in the morning on KS95. And I was on the air for 5 years there. And it was beginning to get insufferable in the uptown area where my wife and I originally lived. It was hippy dippy dopey, a lot of goth, that thing going on and all of that. And then it just went bananas. And then of course it burned down in the summer of 2020. And Tim Volt's wife, what's her name? I don't even. Anyway, she said she liked the smell of burning tires in the morning. She said she liked the smell of the burning tires. I think her name is Imelda. But now uptown where I used to live is a hellhole. It's a shell of what it was. Why is that?
Crap tons.
Yeah.
Crap tons.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it made it into an absolute hellhole. There you go. Meanwhile, Washington, D.C. is phenomenal. I want to mention again here, we got a trip coming up October 25th through the 29th. It is with Tours and Travel, and we still have a couple availabilities. I've just been told this late last week. Rob, there are some spaces you can still attend. Do you want to see that reflecting pool? Do you want to see Arlington? Do you want to see the beautiful new fountain? The fountain is absolutely gorgeous in front of Union Station. Do you want to see all of the fountains? Do you want to see the National Mall just clean? The grass, not spotty, perfect. It is absolutely stunning. This city is what no, it's better than what I could have imagined. I lived here 12 years, and I just came back after 10 years away. It's more beautiful than I could ever imagine. It is a beautiful town. I've been here almost 13 years of my life. I drive across that bridge from Arlington, and I just go, wow, it's our nation's capital. It's ours. It's 250 years. And then when you see the MMA cage, oh, my God, phenomenal. And then they've got this big Grand Prix race. By the way, if you want to be on this trip, travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net. Do that today. I want you to join me here. It's never going to be this beautiful again. I'm never going to be here for another giant anniversary of our country's birth. Donald Trump is not going to be the president 50 years from now. You need to be here. Travelwithrob.net. That's your trip this year. Right there. October 25th through the 29th. Travelwithrob.net. Remember, Saturday morning, I'm going to go and I'm going to broadcast. Watch all my social media at Rob Carson Show. Rob Carson Show on all social media. But I'm probably going to do it just on Instagram from my phone Saturday morning so you can see it. How's that sound? Okay? All right. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Veterans and active duty.
But in most places on earth, they believe that your rights come from your government and from your laws. But ours was founded on the belief that your rights come from your Creator and from God.
Yeah, baby. This is one of the reasons why we became the greatest engine of economic and individual liberty in the history of the free world, you know. I mentioned earlier that the awful Sonny Hostin of the Harpies from Hell, sorry, it's The View. I always get those mixed up. Said that we're a failed experiment. In what metric? Other than literally ushering the entire world out of the Dark Ages, where they had wallowed for millennia. Honestly, thousands of years, same resources, same people. You know, no indoor plumbing, no running water. You know, life expectancy of 35 years. You know, using the streets as a latrine, Black Death, all of that. Thousands of years. Why did 250 years ago suddenly everything go into light speed? First Amendment backed up by the Second Amendment. And a group of forefathers who just changed the world. One of our forefathers discovered electricity, for God's sake. One of our forefathers discovered electricity. Before that, it was thousands of years going, oh, big booming sky. Oh, there's some light. Oh, what is that? Ben Franklin says, fly a kite. Let's find out what that is. Yeah, I know. Then we invented the internal combustion engine and the locomotive, and then we you know, blue jeans and rock and roll, and you know, made European sports suck less. You know, like took their football, made it into kick-ass football, took their cricket, made it into kick-ass baseball. You know, and then invented basketball, and then you know, became basically you know, the flew to the moon and played golf 50 years ago. Nobody else has landed on the moon from another country. Other than that, failed experiment. Other than that, I mean, you know, complete failure. Honestly, I have no time for you haters. No time for you haters. You've done a nice job, though, making us feel bad about our country. I don't. No, sirree. Nope. Not one little bit. Not one little bit. Jim Jordan he's been on Fuego this week. He questioned the SPLC yesterday, and it was fantastic. Oh, my God, it was so good. And then he's talking to Act Blue. Act Blue is this fundraising arm of the Democrat Party, and they what they do is they'll, like, for instance, they'll take somebody's name, like an elderly person, and they will use their name and make thousands of donations to the Democrat Party under their name. They've got this on tape. This actually has happened. But it's much worse than that. It's really bad. And here is Jim Jordan yesterday talking to this Miss Wallace Jones, the head of Act Blue, and she's very tight-lipped about this organization benefiting the Democrat Party. I mean, we're talking like taking money from outside our country, other countries buying our elections.
Mr. Garcia, in his opening statement, said we're here because Republicans are playing politics. Let's be clear. We're here because Act Blue's legal counsel said Miss Wallace Jones lied to Congress.
Yeah. Listen to this.
Willfully and knowingly misled the Congress of the United States. That's why we're here. Oh, by the way, who was the legal counsel, Covington Burley? Who was her counsel? Dana Remus, not some Republican. She was former White House counsel for Joe Biden. Yeah. That's who said that. Yeah. That's why we're here. So I just have a couple questions for you.
Here, listen
Ms. Wallace Jones, just a couple. Your board chairman said Act Blue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
Listen.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
She's in a lot of trouble.
How many foreign contributions did Act Blue accept?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How much money did Act Blue accept from Russia?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully...
Oh, I love this. I love the feces hitting the fan. Here's some more of Jim Jordan.
Second, the documents the committee obtained did not square with Ms. Wallace Jones' response to Congress. We had one Act Blue employee who, in an email, said, changes we have made over the last year have already meant we're accepting more fraud. So there was already some fraud.
Yeah.
They changed their standards so they were accepting more fraud. Act Blue board member Kimberly Peeler-Allen admitted up to, quote, 38 million in Act Blue contributions in 2024 had signs of a foreign origin.
Wow. That is amazing. That's your Democrat Party, though. That's your Democrat Party. They, I told you, they can't win on the issues, and so they have to steal elections. They have to commit voter fraud. They have to do this with Act Blue, whatever. And of course, Democrat Terry Sewell said questioning Act Blue about all the fraud is what else? Racist!
Over and over again, Donald Trump's Department of Justice has harassed black women with bogus lawsuits.
That's absolute bullcrap. It's an absolute lie.
We should not forget the harassment of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, Lisa Cook, the harassment...
Yeah, it's because she was black. Okay.
...of the New York Attorney General Tish James, and their harassment...
Because she was in charge of a political indictment of Donald Trump.
...of our colleague, New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver.
Yeah, but LaMonica McIver attacked an ICE agent.
So it is not surprising that this Republican-led committee is now attacking...
I get it, because the Act Blue for Miss Wallace Jones is black. I get it. Okay.
Act Blue and its CEO, Miss Wallace Jones.
Yeah, just because she's black. Wow. Anybody else kind of tired of hearing this nonsense? I'm kind of tired of it. Yeah. Buy gold, put some silver in your pocket. I know you're thinking everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? Well, you better pull your head out of the sand. You may not be able to control a lot of things, but one thing you can do is diversify your retirement savings. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k from a previous employer to an IRA in physical gold. Yeah. Gold 10 years ago was $1,200. It's $4,500 now-ish. I mean, why? Really? Yeah. Hello? Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 10th. This is really cool. It's a collector's item. 250th anniversary. You can be hanging on this. You'll pass it on to grandkids and kids, whatever the hell. Text Rob to 989898 to take advantage of free America 250 silver with a qualifying purchase before July 10th. Again, text Rob to the number 989898 today for Birch Gold. They have my money. They should have your money. I trust them. You should trust them. There you go. You know it. Text Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. Coming up, the Nitwit Raman, the third place finisher last week in the mayoral race in L.A. She got a lot of votes. Very popular with homeless people. They really love her politics for some reason, and they really came out to vote for her after they really came out to vote with her. We've got some interesting articles about who voted for her and why and all of that coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Rob Carson for Ghost Bed. I love my Ghost Bed. Do you really want another summer like last summer, barely sleeping because you were too hot all night? People blame summer heat for bad sleep when it really may be their mattress trapping heat. And if you're already sleep hot, summer only makes it worse. That's exactly why I switched to Ghost Bed. Ghost Bed keeps you cool all night. No waking up sweaty, tossing and turning, or throwing the covers off at 2 a.m. Cooling tech is built into every mattress. It's not some expensive upgrade you have to pay extra for. Hot sleepers are some of Ghost Bed's happiest customers. Read the reviews. Incredible support, less stiffness, deeper sleep, more rested mornings. Ghost Bed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. You can sleep on it all summer long and feel the difference yourself. How many more summers are you going to waste on bad sleep? Ghost Bed is offering my audience an extra 10% off. With financing, some Ghost Beds come out to around $1 a day. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use the promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
TDS, James Covell has TDS. Will I land in a psych ward? That is anybody's guess. It's for sure, I'm insane. I really can't explain why for Donald Trump I have so much disdain. I'm as crazy as a loon. I'm gonna crack up soon. It's expanding like a big balloon. It's gotten even worse. It's gonna be my curse. TDS, TDS, TDS. TDS, TDS. Is it derangement? I say yes. Whenever Trump is mentioned, I become a giant mess. He causes me such pain, pain I can't contain. of my existence. He has been a bane like Ellen and Rosie. In our brain he lives rent-free, driven me as crazy as can be. It's something I can't shake. How much more can I take? TDS, TDS, TDS.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we were meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if everyday aches and pains are slowing you down, might be time to declare your independence from pain. I take Relief Factor. There's a reason why at my age I'm able to crush it at the gym and ride 30 miles on a mountain bike on Saturday mornings. Relief Factor. It's 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed to help your body fight inflammation, one of the root causes of pain. It's not a quick fix or a temporary mask. It works from inside out at the source. Relief Factor was created so people could get back to living life on their terms, walking, working, exercising, enjoying the moments that matter. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. To commemorate, they're offering a special patriotic price, just $17.76. Yeah, your $17.76 3-week quick start is ready for you. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. ReliefFactor.com or 800-4-RELIEF.
No Israel, there'd be no Middle East, and they would have absolutely shot at us. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because you know what? They dealt with some very stupid presidents. I have to say that. I'm embarrassed to say it.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the president has shown more wherewithal and patience than I would have had, and I'm hoping that the U.S. military will put Iran out of its misery, at least the IRCG. I was walking down the street here in Northern Virginia and walked into a store the other day. It's a rug and art store. And I walk in, and I have never felt more welcome. 4 people. Welcome. Please come in. Welcome. I mean, it was crazy. And I said, well, this is my favorite store. And they all just laughed. And I look over and I see a big painting of the Shah of Iran. And then next to it is a painting of his son. And I said, free Iran. And they all went, yes. And shook my hand, and we had a great conversation, Iranian expats who were alive and lived there before the revolution and had to leave. And it was just joyous. And I said, I believe Iran's going to be free. And they say, we believe Iran is going to be free. And I do too. And I think it's a real shame that the Democrat Party couldn't bring itself to even celebrate the possibility that Iran could be free. The women of Iran could not live with the fear of being beaten to death for showing their hair. For the first time, the people of Iran in 47 years could be free, and the Democrat Party couldn't even bring itself to celebrate it. That's how awful they are. And now they're not celebrating the 250th anniversary, the birthday of our country. It is really just remarkable. It's remarkable how bad they are. It's remarkable. I don't know if you knew this, but Zohran Mamdani threw a free watch party for Knicks fans in New York, and this is what happened. Yeah. There was a riot, of course. Yeah, did you get a chance to see? It was pretty ugly. The NBA commissioner, I don't know if you saw this, there were half of these, and I have a feeling there were a lot of paid operatives in the crowd there to boo Donald Trump. You know, I'm sure there are some New York haters there who hate Donald Trump, even though he was a fixture at Madison Square Garden, fixture in Washington, D.C., beloved figure in New York City for decades until he ran for president and became a Republican. That's just the way it was. He's New York all the way. He's New York proud all the way. Just not proud. But anyway, he was asked about the NBA commissioner being kind of left to center and the league kind of being left to center.
We talked a little bit about the NBA and about the game, and the game's changed. I said it's gotten rougher, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's gotten rougher.
Wow, that's almost like masculinity or something. Democrats, did you hear that? That's masculinity. It's weird, right? I know. You guys are going to vote for James Tallarico, the opposite of that.
When you look at the way they guard people now, I don't remember them doing that 10 years ago. And he knows a lot about basketball, but it's good. It's good for the game.
Do you think the NBA
it's a tougher game.
From the left-wing stuff that they were getting criticized for?
Well, it's a little left-wing. I think so. It tends to be a little bit left-wing, but it's great entertainment.
Yeah, it's great entertainment. There you go. Yeah, he's sometimes he's real nice about to people he shouldn't be nice to. Stephen A. Smith is, for some reason, because I guess he's high profile, he's qualified to be the president. Dear God. I mean, honestly, please give me a freaking break. He's, stay in your lane, Stephen. Talk about sports, because when you talk about politics, you sound like a moron. Anyway, he was on bloviating about Donald Trump being at the game, and he didn't like it.
Our president showed up in New York City last night. And needless to say, what I feared would happen ended up happening. The New York Knicks lost. And
that's because San Antonio wanted to pull their rear ends out of the fire. And the NBA also didn't want the series to end so soon because, money and stuff.
I'm blaming.
I'm not saying anything about the game. It just the San Antonio Spurs, they came back. They had to save their butts. And the Democrat loves that.
Why am I blaming him, ladies and gentlemen? It's very, very
simple. I should say the NBA.
Because the president disrupted our mojo. I've said this on many occasions over the last 24 hours, and I'm saying it again. The man messed things up.
No.
ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith was talking about running for president.
Yeah, here's Donald Trump being asked about Stephen A. Smith possibly running for president, which is laughable.
He said he would blame you if the Knicks lost the game. How do you respond to that?
I think he's a nice guy, but you need a certain aptitude to run for president. You need a high IQ. I'm not sure that Stephen has that.
Yeah, there you go. He has no qualifications to be the president. Kamala Harris didn't have any qualifications to be the president. Donald Trump is a chief executive. That's why he's such a great chief executive. He wrote a book called The Art of the Deal. He's an amazing man. Here is a little montage of Stephen A. and then Jesse Waters and Whoopi Goldberg. Wookie. I called her Wookie Goldberg. Anyway, Wookie Goldberg. What the hell did that come? Wookie Goldberg. She's defending Trump.
I could say I put my IQ up against yours any day of the week. I could go one better. I could ask you why you've been running for me the last year since I wanted to talk to you.
You're a bug. You're a bug compared to Donald Trump.
I could ask you to debate me since you think you that dude. Okay.
He would destroy you.
Okay. We can go a myriad of ways with all of this.
Oh, my God.
And in a shocking turn of events,
listen,
Whoopi Goldberg sided with
Trump and Mayor Mamdani are Knicks fans and have been. They're New Yorkers. I think anybody who is a Knicks fan should be there. You earn the right as a Knicks fan. I don't care who you are. I don't have to like you.
Yeah, and it's never been a problem for a president to attend a game like this. It's always been an honor, but everybody's just b-wording and whining. They never scream and caterwaul and bullcrap. When Barack Obama showed up, they never did the same thing with Joe Biden. They just didn't even notice him. It is just so utterly, utterly ridiculous. And honestly, Stephen A. Smith, you're never going to be the president. I mean, I don't know why people just float this because the Democrat Party is so desperate. They just think that somebody who gets seen by a few people should run for president. He's not. He has no qualifications to be the president of the United States. He has no acumen for it. He has no life experience for it. None of that. None of it. It's ridiculous, the thought of it. He's a sports talk show host. That's it. It's just kind of dumb. Just kind of dumb. This is kind of interesting. In L.A., and I'm not alleging that there was voter fraud. I'll just let Fox tell you about a woman who was collecting signatures and paying homeless people and has pleaded guilty.
You're learning more about the professional signature collector who agreed to plead guilty to paying homeless people to register to vote in Los Angeles. Brenda Lee Brown Armstrong admitted she used to pay people on Skid Row $2 or $3 to sign ballot initiative petitions and gave homeless people her address to use so they could register to vote.
Wow. Now, because you haven't registered, I need to register you so I can get paid too. I'm paying you guys, I need to get paid. Come on.
Armstrong got paid for every signature she got, and the DOJ says this case is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. This case is important because it shows how easy it is under California law to corrupt the state's voter rolls and thereby corrupt the state and federal elections administered by the state.
So now the question is how widespread. Those in power would like to say, well, of course there's some fraud, but it's not widespread. The truth is, and I can tell you, having been up there, they have no idea. They have no idea how spread the fraud is because they do nothing to detect it, prevent it, or to prosecute it.
Yeah. Now, you know that Spencer Pratt has been pushed out of the top two candidates for mayor. There's some new information coming out about people who voted for Nitya Raman. I'm going to share the information. I'm not making I'm not making an accusation of voter fraud. I'm just saying they got some new information on who's voting for, and that's going to come up next. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much.
This is not an EV. And it never will be. Woo! Come on. You want to hear something kind of funny? I've never had a toy. I've never had a like a sports car or a convertible or anything like that. I bought my wife one and did not save our marriage, unfortunately. But anyway, that's it. I've always had a fascination with the 1994 300ZX from Nissan. I've always just loved that car because I remember I was poor. I was making $18,500 a year right out of college, and my boss at the radio station got a Nissan 300Z, and I was kind of looking at one on Facebook the other day. It was really cheap, by the way. I mean, like, really cheap. I was looking and thinking about it. I don't know, thinking about it. They're pretty good cars. I just always liked it. I always wanted a 63 Continental convertible, but no, I don't think so. Not anymore. Here is Dr. Stephen Turley with an observation about L.A. mayoral elections.
Fortunately, we've seen this before. Back in the 2022 L.A. mayor's race, conservative businessman Rick Caruso led Karen Bass on election night.
Gotcha.
He was actually winning. And then the late mail-in ballots started coming in.
Weird.
Day after day, batch after batch, all breaking overwhelmingly in one direction, and that's, of course, for Karen Bass. So by the time the race was over, a race Caruso appeared to be winning. By the time it flipped completely, and he ended up losing by over 10 points. Again, in a race that he was leading election night.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It kind of happens. I'm, of course, not alleging election fraud. I would never do that. But here's James O'Keefe out talking to homeless people.
Fraudulent petitioners on Skid Row are now paying the homeless to forge names, forge addresses, and forge signatures of registered voters.
What?
So do you want to sign?
Really?
The first one.
I'm Joseph Albright. Okay.
First name?
Joseph.
Oh, that's crazy.
Albright. What are you using? Teresa.
No, I'm going to give you your address to write.
Oh, okay.
Follow directions?
Okay, yeah.
Robert.
Quickly becoming a widespread scheme that can be found on almost every street corner in downtown Los Angeles.
That is weird. That is just weird how that happens. And there's this. Bombshell photo unveils damning Nitya Raman link with homeless voters as fury erupts over LA ballot count. Again, I'm not saying that voter fraud exists. I would never, ever say that. I'm just reading the story here in front of me, and because I think it's rather curious. Thousands of homeless voters were registered to vote at LA shelters despite not many living there. Yeah. As Spencer Pratt was eliminated by Nitwit Ramen Noodle in the mayoral race on Monday night, it can be revealed that a one-drop center received $600,000 from the socialist candidate and had 185 registered voters at the address, but offers no accommodations. That is nobody. It's almost like a Leering Center. It is. A review of records shows 7,600 voters tied to homeless shelter and service providers. Among them was the St. Joseph Center in Venice, a homeless services drop-in center with 185 registered voters tied to the address. The organization received a $600,000 taxpayer-funded grant awarded by Raman while she chaired the city council's housing and homelessness committee. Last week, the Post contacted her. That's from the New York Post. Her campaign and a center seeking comment regarding the relationship between the councilwoman and an organization, but has not heard back. Martin Rowe, a homeless man living in Venice, California, says he was registered to vote during an outreach effort outside of Ralph's grocery store. They asked all the questions. You got the paper. The largest concentration of homeless voters was at the Midnight Mission on Skid Row, whose voting records showed 1,160 registrants, but the website show it only has beds for 84 men and 36 women. Man, there were a hell of bump kids. Those bump kids used to be like 50 people on those bump kids. My God. One homeless man on Skid Row, Norman, said he witnessed voter registration efforts in the area for years, claims he had previously been paid to help sign up voters and that cigarettes were offered to some people during the drives. It was a big push. I'm just reading from Norman. This is Norman here. It was in the New York Post, by the way. If you have any complaints, talk to them. It was a big push to get certain area of town registered to vote. Norman declined to give a last name. Among other things, Post found that 80 registered voters across 4 behavioral health and addiction treatment facilities, the Corner of Hope Mental Health Service Center, Volunteers of America Alcohol Services, Los Angeles Centers for Alcohol and Drug Abuse, and Homeless Healthcare Los Angeles. The Post also identified 313 registered voters tied to an address associated with the L.A. Los Angeles social services facilities. So, it's kind of interesting. She got a lot of homeless votes, apparently. A lot of homeless people voting for Nitya Raman, so there you go. Skid Row homeless claim they've been paid to vote for by Bass and Raman. This is just another article from the New York Post here. Series of shocking videos show homeless residents on Los Angeles Skid Row claiming they were paid to vote for Karen Bass and Nitya Raman. I've got the hidden camera video. Do you want to hear the hidden camera video? Let me find the hidden camera video. Hold on one second. It's right here somewhere. Skid Row. Here it is. Here's the video talking to a homeless person on the street. This is just a homeless person talking.
39 years old.
We live in Skid Row.
I live in Skid Row.
And then would they come down here and try and pay you to vote?
Yes.
On a ballot?
Yes.
How much they pay you?
$5.
And they said, here, come and vote for these candidates.
Yes, sir.
They told you who to vote for?
Yeah.
Oh. So they told you to vote for Karen Bass or Nitya Raman?
Karen Bass.
So you vote for Karen Bass? Yeah. For $5? And they're doing this for a lot of people?
Yes.
How often do they come down here?
Probably like any time per week.
Time per week?
Yeah.
You get the ballots?
Yep.
Wow, to vote for Karen Bass?
Karen Bass or whoever else.
There you go. That's again, I'm just quoting from the New York Post and James O'Keefe and a few others. Oh, and Fox News as well. So I wouldn't want to make any assumptions about, whatever. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. See, I didn't allege voter fraud. I didn't. I'm gonna let the evidence speak. All right, guys. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I had to do a few things. Hello, Leslie Lady Hawk. I'd like a 65 Mustang. They're too small for me, though. They are. They're too small for me. I was looking at this 300Z. It's under $10,000. It's got low miles. It's red. It's the color that I want, but I don't know. I don't really need it. I don't even need it. But I was thinking about it. Hello, S.E. Leclerc over there on Twitter. I see you're there. Let's look over on the Rumbly-Roo. The Rumbly-Roo. Rob lands some great. I'm going to refresh that. I got to move down here. There's been a lot of comments since I scrolled down before. Scroll. KS, what? Somebody said KS95? I used to listen to Rob on KS95 Sport Tech. Wow. Back in the 90s. It was a big show. It was a really big show. I did a lot of satire up there about the state of Minnesota. It was gigantic. We had 2,500 people show up to get the signed CDs. 2,500 at Lord Fletcher's on Lake Minnetonka. Rob loves his Bronco, yep. Oh, you had a 1968 Bronco? Yeah, if you still had it, it'd be worth about 80 to 150,000. Straight six. Renault hardtop convertible, straight six. My first car was a Dodge Aspen slant six. It was a piece of crap. But I sank every ounce of money into it. Here we go. Okay.
A Texas jury found 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in April of 2025 during a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. He was just sentenced to 35 years in prison. And to lay this all out for you, due to the rain, there was bad weather. The track events were delayed that day, and Anthony, a Centennial High School student, sought shelter under a Memorial High School tent. Moments later, an argument broke out, and Anthony was asked repeatedly to leave that tent. One witness claimed Anthony responded by calling the group a name before he reached into his backpack saying, quote, "Touch me and see what happens," end quote. After some shoving, Anthony pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest, piercing his heart. Prosecutors argued that the killing was a provoked and unjustified murder. They called 21 witnesses. The defense argued it was self-defense. Carmelo Anthony did not testify in his own defense.
Yeah, he's going to jail. He could get eligible for a parole after half of his sentence, which is ridiculous. I haven't talked a lot about the case. He was facing 99 years in prison. He took a young life. He ruined a life. Ruined a young man's life, ruined a family. It's just sickening, just thoroughly sickening. I had Austin Metcalf's father unloaded on Carmelo Anthony. We were robbed, don't look down. All of these things. I said from day one, this was never about race. Please don't politicize it. But what did you choose to do? Both. It's about right and wrong. We're all humans. We bleed the same color, is what his dad said. This is just, and Carmelo Anthony threw his life away. He threw his life away. It's gone. It's gone. You failed your parents, you failed yourself, you failed society, you don't belong in this community, he said. You're going to prison. You can't even look at me in the eyes right now, but you can stab my effing son in the heart. Outside, there were Black Panthers who are misguided and broken, just like Black Lives Matter. We got to tell our kids the truth that this is a racist-ass country. Shut up. We got to tell them the truth, one of them said. Don't nobody want to hear about what we do to each other. We talking about what they doing to us. White folks kill white folks, Mexicans kill Mexicans. We ain't trying to hear no cool S today. Go open up them white folks with that. This is a racist ass guy. Shut up. You're a loser who belongs to a dated organization that is beyond, just in the past. Just like the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. What a joke. You're corrupt. We've moved beyond you. Honestly, you're pathetic. You're a 65-year-old organization. It's no longer. Retire, for God's sake. It is a tragedy all around, but Carmelo Anthony deserves to go to jail for a very long time as punishment for killing a young man. I hate the end of the show on that, but I wanted to get that in today. I'm going to be off tomorrow going to Gettysburg with a bunch of you guys, a bunch of my listeners and viewers. So I'll see you on Friday. God bless you, America's founded Donald Trump. He's doing a great job making America great again, our soldiers. And until Friday, whatever you do, don't catch the stupid. Love you guys. Have a good one. See ya.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.